Hello and welcome to another episode of A Day in the District. I'm your host, Chelsea Whittington. A Day in the District is a program specifically designed to help you, the viewer, stay connected to your Gary Community School Corporation. If you've been under a rock, then you have to come from underneath it and find out the amazing things that are happening in our athletics program. Now, certainly we know about the track. We know we had a great football season. We know that basketball season has begun and that volleyball has just concluded. But did you know that Westside Leadership Academy has a wrestling team? And did you know that we will be amping up for girls softball in the spring? Well, here's your opportunity to meet the gentlemen who are behind these engines of athletics. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Kevin Bradley and Mr. Kylan Taylor, coaches respectively for girls softball and wrestling. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining me. When I saw the messages out there for the fundraisers for girls softball and the tryouts for the wrestling team, I said to myself, I knew I had to get you on the show because these are two sports that are not necessarily as highlighted, if you will, as, say, basketball or football, but we're getting ready to change that today. And Kevin, I'm going to start with you. Please tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the throes of girls softball.
Well, I started playing baseball when I was 4 years old.
Wow.
I still play to this day in the 38 and over league around here.
38 and over? You're over 38? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I'm a Gary firefighter. Been on the fire department for 21 years.
Wonderful.
Also, I'm a vice president for the local baseball and softball league here in Gary. So,
Okay.
I kind of do a lot around here. So.
Okay, so I see you are rocking blue and orange. Is that specifically because you're a coach, or are there any other reasons that you love blue and orange?
That's really specifically because I'm a coach here.
Because you're a coach, so you did go to school here, though, right?
No.
No, you did not.
No.
We have one cougar on the stage, and where did you go to school?
I went to school at Lew Wallace.
Lew Wallace. I don't
Yeah.
know why I wanted to pair. Perhaps because your better half did. I wanted to pair you up and go to Westside.
That's
But
all
you
right.
are with us now,
Yeah.
and we're most appreciative of that. So, age 4, baseball. What kind of programs were you in? Let's go down memory lane for a sec.
I started at East Glen Park, T-ball. Then after that first year, the T-ball field got burnt down. So then I ended up moving over to Midtown.
Okay.
And started minor league, major league, all the way up to big league, and had a scholarship in baseball. Went to Lincoln Trail Junior College in Robinson, Illinois. So, baseball has been my life since, 4 years old.
Yes.
And then just recently I switched over to softball.
Okay.
Because the camaraderie that the girls have is a whole lot better than the boys.
Okay.
And so I was surprised by it, because only thing I've been working with is the boys.
Okay. So this is something new in your whole field for baseball, and we'll come back to you to talk a little bit more about what the differences are. I do remember having to take tests in high school and middle school about volleyball, softball. We literally had to take, if you had Coach Fisher, you had to take tests before you could get out there and play. And so there is a difference. There's a difference in the size of the ball and all. Didn't know I knew that. See?
Yeah.
Coach Taylor, also known as KT Wrestling. Tell me a little bit about yourself personally, and then let's talk about how you ended up getting out there on the mat with our guys.
Well, I actually went to Westside.
All right, there's my cougar. I was looking. Okay.
So I started coming back. I started wrestling when I was a freshman. Because after football season, all my friends was in another sport, and I just got bored staying at home. So
Yeah.
I ended up coming to wrestling practice and ended up liking it. So when I graduated, I ended up coming back to help. And I came back to help, and I got on the coaching staff. So, yeah.
Well, I love that one thing that you said, you came back to help. So did you start off like a volunteer, just
Yeah, I
kind
started
of
off,
returning to the
yeah,
program to
started off
see what was
volunteering.
going on? That is amazing, and we need a lot more of that, I would say, as far as individuals who have left the school district, but come back around to check on the program, check on the coaches. So Coach Taylor, what does it take to be in wrestling? What do you look for when you want players to join your program?
Like discipline
Oh.
and being on time and sacrifice.
Okay. We didn't even start with the physical fitness. It's about discipline. I like that. And
'Cause,
so,
like, you gotta be willing like to give up your weekends. And
Okay.
that'd be tough as a high schooler. Want to give up your weekends when all your friends are having fun, but it pays off.
okay. Well, what are some of the regimens that you all practice to get them ready for match? They're called matches or meets? Matches.
They both.
Okay. Okay.
So we start off with like running and exercise and stuff like that, like practice on your takedowns and things of that nature. And a lot of
Okay.
kids end up liking it.
Okay.
Like,
So would you say that the program is strong? Because I know that there are probably some people who are watching today who didn't even know that Westside had a wrestling team. So what are some of the things that you do to get the young men interested in the sport if they're not familiar with it? Does it feed over from football? How does that work?
like they used to be hand to hand. Like the football players normally like a wrestle, but like if they not sure about it, like I tell them like come watch your friend on the mat, and they see the kids having fun because kids attract kids. Like we could tell you to come, but you're not gonna come until your friend tell you like it's fun.
Okay, okay. So Kevin, before we go to our first break, I just want to come back to you real quickly and can you give the general overview of when the season is going to start for girls softball, what we're doing now?
Well, right now we're conditioning.
Okay.
Getting the girls in shape, getting them acclimated to, you know, softball because I got a lot of new girls.
Okay. Any
Season.
grade?
Any grade, freshman to senior. The good thing about it is that most of my teams are all sophomores.
Okay.
So I got a young team, so I look forward to the future with these girls. And they seem to be, catching on pretty quick.
Yes.
The season starts in April. I think our first game would be April 2nd or 3rd or something like that against East Chicago. So I'm just looking forward to the girls having fun. That's the biggest thing for me. Having fun, getting better.
All right.
So
Having fun and getting better. Well, I am so excited that this program has been reignited. You are tuned in to A Day in the District, a program designed to help you, the viewer, stay connected to your Gary Community School Corporation. When we come back, we're going to talk more with our coaches about the season and how you can get involved to support our scholars. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
When you join the Army, the first thing they teach you is how to get in line. Not exactly the same in high school. When I enrolled in Westside Leadership Academy and joined ROTC, the first thing I learned was respect. Not just for God and country, but for myself.
Gary Schools, strong, resilient, built for education.
Welcome back to A Day in the District, and I'm still your host, Chelsea Whittington. I am joined by two of my colleagues who are in our athletics department spearing up girls softball and wrestling, and we're having a great conversation as one is in his season and the other is poised to start his season in April. But Coach, you were talking to me about them getting conditioned now, and their games don't start until April. So I'm sitting here thinking they should be really, really ready to go because that's like 5 months from now.
yeah, well, that's important for them to get conditioned because softball is not an easy sport.
Okay.
So it's a lot of things that they got to learn, like cut off. And just the other day, I gave them a quiz.
Okay. Coach
You know.
Fisher.
It was funny that you mentioned that because I gave them a quiz. It was just 10 questions. And then it was things that I went over with them, put it on the whiteboard, just telling them different things about what number the positions is. Because it may come a time where I need them to take the scorebook and know how to.
Okay.
So I gave them a quiz and they were all surprised, like,
Sure, pop quiz.
like, wait a minute, so, a lot of them didn't do too well, but that's okay.
That's okay.
It's a pre-assessment, to see what you are retaining, and I told them, hey, it's important that y'all retain all of this information that I'm giving you all, because once the game starts, it goes pretty fast.
Yes, and they will probably, most likely, be competing against teams where they already know the game and they are set and ready to go as we are re-ramping up. But I have faith in our young ladies, and I am really excited about that. So you talk about conditioning. I wanted to move over to you, Coach Taylor, when we talk about conditioning. So those of us in the regular world who are non-athletes, and want to work out, want to struggle with getting to a certain weight. But this is pivotal and critical when it comes to wrestling because you have different weight classes. So for someone like me who's not really familiar with how the sport works, can you talk to me about how it works when you are recruiting and how the weight classes are broken down, and what do you all do to stay? If you have to be 137 and 0.5 or less, what do you all do to stay there? I need that personally anyway.
So it really started in the kitchen, like with exercise. So like you could do a lot of working out, but if you don't eat right, you don't really see progress and
That's
you
a
get
word.
discouraged. So I try to tell them not to eat big old meals. Don't eat to get full. Just eat small versus 2 big meals. Just eat like 3 smaller meals. Like break it down.
Okay.
And drink a lot of water before you eat to get full faster.
Okay.
Psych your mind.
Okay, that's a
So, yeah.
personal goal. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. What are some of the things that you encourage wrestlers to eat?
Like fruits, vegetables. Try to stay away from the junk, like the chips, hot chips, because you don't get no energy from that food.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I try to tell them like replace the sugars with honeys and stuff like that.
Okay. And then the weight classes. What are the different weight classes that we're competing in for Westside?
So we range from 106 to 285, which is like heavyweight.
Oh, wow.
So like I try to
205 is heavyweight?
no, it's
285?
It's from 106 to 285.
85, okay.
280.
Okay. And do we cover all of those classes here at Westside, or
No,
are we looking
like,
for more?
We have like 6 weight classes. We are suffering with the lower weight class. We need a lot of smaller guys.
Okay.
We got heavy guys, so we got mostly middleweights. We
Okay.
got from 132 to 170.
Okay.
And we got an 82 pound.
Now, is it too late for our young men to get involved with the sport for this season?
Oh, man.
All
They can
right,
come out.
parents, students, if you are interested in being a part of the wrestling team, at this point it's for young men, right? I don't want to leave the young ladies out. I didn't think we had a girls wrestling, but
Yeah, we do.
you never know. Do we? Or
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't realize
It's
we
combined.
had.
Like when you go to
Okay.
different meets, like a boy might wrestle a girl and a girl might wrestle a girl.
I didn't know that.
As long as they're in the same weight class.
Oh, I did not know that. You learn something new every day. So parents of young ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested, please reach out to Coach Taylor here in our athletics department at Westside Leadership Academy. I just had this vision of some girl just taking a guy down. All of a sudden, it just came in my head. But that is great information to know. Now, Coach, I would like to also ask you, Coach Kev, about the diet and conditioning for the young ladies. You were nodding your head as Coach Taylor was talking about, eliminate the junk. I'm sure that's a given, but is there a different type of routine when it comes to getting ready for girls softball?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, it's, it's...
Do you all lift
'cause
weights?
it's not. Well, I try to stay away from the weights.
Okay.
I would rather them just use their body weight.
Okay.
To try to get that core strong and their legs stronger. So what I have them do a lot of, core exercises.
Okay.
And a lot of running up and down the stairs.
Ooh,
And,
okay.
to get their wind and because,
Stamina.
Yeah, get that stamina together. And because softball is a lot of running.
Yes.
And I try to encourage them by telling them, softball is not easy. So
Okay.
don't get discouraged when you're not hitting the ball. You're not throwing the ball where you want it to. So, it's different things that I do to get them ready. Like the other day we were doing practice and we had a softball sitting on top of a cone, and I just had them throwing it, trying to knock the ball off of the cone.
Okay.
And some of them were getting frustrated, and it was a game. So if you knock the ball off the cone anyway, you get 1 point. But if you throw it and hit the ball directly off the top, you get 5 points. So I made it fun for them. And what it was is it wasn't about knocking the ball off of the cone.
Yeah.
It was just getting it in the general
Right,
area.
it's about aim, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I like
so.
that. And one last thing before I go back to you, Coach, the size of the ball. Talk about the difference with baseball and softball.
Well, the size of the ball for softball is 12 inches.
Okay.
And just because it's called a softball
Doesn't make it is not soft.
It's not soft. It's just as hard as the baseball.
Okay.
So you got a 12-inch ball compared to 9 inches.
Okay.
So that's the difference in the sizes.
Okay. So now, Coach Taylor, before we go to break, where do we practice for the guys? Are we in I know the gym is being renovated. What do we practice?
Like in the balcony part of the big gym, like
Okay.
the boys' gym.
Okay.
The balcony part.
All right, so I'm getting our viewers prompt up and ready to find you. So if you have some random souls coming up asking about softball or asking about wrestling, know that they have watched you in action here today, and we are ready to get them involved. You are watching A Day in the District with your host, me, Chelsea Whittington. We're talking all things sports here at the Gary Community School Corporation because we want you to stay connected to what our student athletes are doing here in the Gary schools. When we come back, we're going to talk about fundraisers and scholarships. Stay right there. Don't you move. We'll see you in a minute.
It's gross. I don't really want to talk about it. She didn't want to at first, but I mean, it's no big deal. Everybody does it.
I was ready, totally ready, because we had been practicing this dance for weeks.
He was supposed to take this girl to this dance, but
I sprained my ankle at track practice.
I hate sharing anything personal. It's so disgusting. For the dance, I let her wear my shoes and she hated it, but I thought she looked great in them.
he could barely even walk.
I ended up taking some pills for my pain.
Yeah, they were my mom's, but
It didn't go well.
If it's not yours, if it's not yours,
if it's not yours,
Hey you,
don't take it.
don't take it.
Don't take it.
don't take it. You won't believe what happened next.
Hello, my name is Dr. Paige McNulty. I'm the manager for the Gary Community School Corporation, and I am pleased to be joined today with the Jackson 5 family members, Tito and Marlon Jackson.
Hi,
how are you? Thanks for being here today.
Not only are we members of the world-famous Jackson 5, but we are proud products of the Gary schools.
Growing up in Gary, our school system afforded great opportunities from academics to extracurricular activities.
And today is no different. This is why we encourage you to enroll your child in the Gary schools today.
For more information, please call 219-881-5466 or visit garyschools.org. And please remember, enroll in Gary Schools today.
Yes,
Right.
definitely enroll.
Gary Schools.
Strong, resilient.
Built for education.
Welcome back to the final segment of A Day in the District. Time flies when you're having fun. I'm your host, Chelsea Whittington, and I want to thank you for continuing to watch A Day in the District because it truly helps you stay connected to what's happening in the Gary schools. I have been having a wonderful conversation, and it's not over, with two of our coaches here at Westside Leadership Academy, Coach Kevin Bradley and Coach Taylor for wrestling and for softball. And before we went to break, we were talking a little bit about the difference between baseball and softball, and that it's just the size of the ball, but the energy and the conditioning, all of that remains the same, and the commitment to discipline and consistency and just being an all-around great student athlete. And here at the district, we emphasize student first and then athlete. And so, coaches, both of you, this is addressed to you both. Talk to me about the importance of academics before we even get out there on the field. What do you tell your players, or what are your guidelines and your rules? You can't play unless you blank. Coach?
You can't play if you don't have the grades.
Amen.
I mean, it's just plain and simple. I mean, if you don't have the grades, I can't use you.
That's right.
You know, so if you don't, if you're not doing it academically, then what's the use? You know,
Yes.
but at the same time, I don't push them away if they're still interested. You know, you can still come around and maybe you can be one of my managers and still learn the game, and then, next year.
Keep those grades up,
Yeah.
and you can get in the game.
Yeah.
Coach Taylor, what do you say about those academics? Important, right?
Because sports are going to be there. Like, you need a fallback plan. So, like, if they don't go to class, like, the sport don't even matter no more.
Exactly.
Because if you get hurt in your sport, what did you get out of coming to school every day?
Good point. So that leads me to my next question, because with those good grades and with prowess, if you will, good skill in these sports, there are opportunities for scholarships. You mentioned in our first segment that you received a baseball scholarship. So are there opportunities in softball and wrestling for scholarships?
Yes, it's a lot of opportunities for our girls to get scholarships in softball, and we don't promote it enough
Okay.
to get our girls, interested in
Yeah.
softball.
Yes.
And believe it or not, it's multiple opportunities for our girls, and that's why I would want to go down to the elementary schools to
Okay.
get the little girls excited. That way, when they come up here to high school, it won't be new to them.
I like that.
So-
I like that. Well, if there's anything we can do in our department to help push that information out, which we will, as well as promoting scholarship opportunities, we will do that. Now, Coach Taylor, I know there are scholarship opportunities in wrestling, right?
Yes, it's a lot of them, but at Westside, like, they didn't used to promote wrestling a lot. Like,
Okay.
when I was wrestling, my friends didn't even know we had a wrestling team. So, like, it's a lot of scholarships out there, but we got to get promoted again. like,
Okay,
promote
well,
us.
I am here and ready to help you. And I also invite our viewers to do the same. And you can visit our website, GarySchools.org, to look at all of the schedules for all of our teams. Did you know I do that for you? We make sure that your schedules are on the website so that we can come out and support you more. Because I will be honest, I have not been to a wrestling match, but I will make sure I get to one before the season is out. And the same with softball when it starts in the spring. So with our last few minutes, I want to talk fundraising, because we know that it takes dollars to sustain sports programs to ensure that our students have the supplies that they need, coupled with the support that we just talked about us being in the stands, the concession stands. And you come from that whole environment, selling candy, concession stands, hot dogs, and all those kinds of things. And you are currently running some fundraising for softball. Talk to me about that.
Well, right now we're running a fundraiser through BSN Sports
Okay.
and Fan Cloth. They kind of merged together to get the kids, the parents, the paraphernalia that they need,
Okay.
the apparel and all of that. So right now it's going to be closing in maybe about 3 days.
Okay.
But if someone is interested in donating to the program, they can always contact the athletic program, Coach
Perfect.
Lee,
Yes.
and or myself, and we'll get it, put it good use.
That's right.
Get
There's
to-
no deadline for donations.
There's no deadline.
And Coach Taylor, I would say, would that be the same case with wrestling? Well, before I even talk about the fundraising part, what do wrestlers need? I know they had a little onesies on. What do they do?
Singlets.
Singlets. I'm sorry, I called them onesies.
It's a head gear to protect your ears from cauliflower.
Okay.
Your singlets, your wrestling shoes, and your warm-up gear, like a hoodie and jogging pants.
Okay, so if you want to help support and get more funding together for our wrestlers, I'm still tickled about me calling it a onesie. That's a baby wears a onesie. A singlet. I'm learning so much today about your sports. Please make the time to reach out to our athletics department, and all of the contact information is located on our website at garyschools.org. We are just at the 2-minute mark. 2-minute warning, coaches. And I would like for each one of you to just make a short plea to parents, guardians, grandparents, the community, students about why they should join your program. You go first, Coach.
Well, softball has been a lost art in this city. Our parents need to get more involved with this because, like I mentioned earlier, that the opportunities are there. And it's not just for the other communities.
So noted.
You know, so our parents need to get involved with the little leagues, you know, to get them acclimated to playing now. And then, you know, the sky's the limit.
I love it.
So.
Well said, Coach. And last but not least, Coach Taylor, we need to wrestle our way onto your mats. What do we need to do and why should we do it?
And like Coach was saying, a lot of parents need to get involved because that means a lot when your parent in the stands while you working out or wrestling or whatever sport you do. If a parent come there, that support means something to you versus not coming. And that means like the boys, they just like the support when they, you know.
I think we've got it, Coach. So we have our marching orders as a community. Number one, certainly to push them in the area of academics so that they can play student athletes. Two, definitely give of our resources to ensure that these programs thrive. And three, make sure that we are in the stands so they know we are supporting them. You have been watching A Day in the District with your host, Chelsea Whittington. Thank you so much for watching. And if you are interested in these sports and all of the other wonderful things taking place in the Gary Community School Corporation, drop us a line or visit us at garyschools.org. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
WSTG